Hi, Tom. Thank you very much for inviting me to visit your office here in Brisbane. Today, I would like to ask you some questions about your entrepreneurship, what your current project is, and then why you are really passionate about building something extraordinary out there. So, would you like to introduce a bit about your background and some of your projects you've been doing?
Sure. Well, thanks very much, and thanks for coming to visit. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm born and bred in Brisbane, and originally an engineer, and then got very early on into building online software. And when I was 24, built some software and did multiple $1 million in sales online very quickly. That
When you
allowed me.
were 24?
When I was 24, I was actually living in London at the time, working as an engineer for London Underground. Oh, sorry, it was actually London Olympics at the time.
Right.
And I got into making money online, and I basically cried when that first dollar came in online automatically because I knew it was a real thing. And then literally 10 months later, quit my job and then traveled around the world for 7 years. And that literally got me to get a really good understanding of the geopolitical atmosphere out there, and also appreciation of many countries on the planet, including China, where I did live there on and off for 2 or 3 years. So I got really good insight into the Chinese way, which was pretty cool. And then after all of that, I really discovered blockchain, got heavy into blockchain, and was a co-founder in helping set up Consensus in Australia, which is basically the consulting arm of Ethereum. I was the number one first employee of Ethereum in Australia. And I hadn't been employed for a long time before then, so it took a lot for me to become an employee again. But for something like as amazing as Ethereum, and Joseph Lubin was my boss, and he's one of the co-founders of Ethereum. So I got really good insight into the startup field and what was happening in the crypto space. Got access to doing lots of exciting projects in the crypto space. Even was able to write the brief that briefed the World Bank on Ethereum and the state of Ethereum at the time. And that really did sort of like, all that effort that Consensus did, that's Consensus with a Y. We had a big vision out there to sort of like change the world.
Yes, and that was the, I can remember that a few years ago you talked 5 hours to read about decentralized payment system, and you were really ahead of everybody at the time.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I was just passionately excited, and then that led me into end up doing a PhD in blockchain.
Wow.
And
you
so,
even went on to do a PhD.
Yep, and really, like study what blockchain means in different business setups and circles. And really that led into blockchain and AI actually go hand in hand, believe it or not. Like, AI needs blockchain and blockchain needs AI. Blockchain is a way to provide walled gardens around AIs as well. It's a better way of doing that type of security. And that's sort of led now then we've got involved in setting up this venture production studio here in Brisbane, and have been advising on a number of projects and helping projects get off the ground. And all of that startup years basically gave me the templates. There's a cookie cutter process to getting a business off the ground, especially in a regulated place like Australia. It's quite a simple process. And so now, like we've matured, and now we've got a process where we're helping other businesses get off the ground and make sure they have all the right tools, all the tools at a cheap rate these days. It's cool that what AI is doing is it's enabling more people to build more software around us to support us in our unique situations. And when you're doing a startup business, what you really do need is custom software to help with those little bottlenecks that help the business move to that next level of maturity. So it's exciting times because with AI and blockchain coming together and converging now under different frameworks, there's so many stones to turn over, and there's so much prosperity to gain from all of this. So we're just at a point where there's lots of good businesses that are starting up under our little conveyor belt. We have a good little projects, sort of like portfolio of things slowly maturing. And for me, I've been involved in computers my whole life, really. And the last 6 months has been the most exciting time to be involved with computers, I would say.
Wow.
So that's how excited we are in the office.
Some milestones. You have achieved some milestones in the last few years.
100%. And just the maturity of all the tech out there, and the maturity of some of these AIs being able to roll out the tech or support us rolling out the tech faster. The only bottleneck is our own brains and understanding and actually using the tools. That's the really bottleneck. So a lot of it's training other humans, helping them understand and get their hands around the tools that they need to move their business forward. So exciting times.
There are concerns between the advanced technology, especially in AI, and humans are easily being replaced by AIs. Lots of jobs, for instance, might be accounting, and it might be law firms. Some of those jobs being replaced by AIs. People are really concerned about that. Some of them have a view about that. What's your view towards this change?
Well, I mean, yeah, like AI, if you don't know how to harness that tool, and there's lots of different styles of doing these tools out there, then you're going to miss out. You're going to fall behind. Yeah. So my first message is learn the tools that are on the market now, learn how to use them, and learn how to be competitive, because these industries are not going to go away. They're still going to, accounting is still required. Humans still need to review the accounting activities. Yes. Legals are still required, and humans at the end of the day are the best judgment of what's fair in a situation. So I used to think growing up quite black and white around that everything should be like this way, but when you get into the nuance of every situation, there is always a human that's needed at that point. We're never going to have AIs just automate. Yeah, like it's just not going to happen, because there's no point. There's literally
no points, right?
And so our vision with all of this is when we're going and we're building AIs to manage entire hospital systems now here in Australia. And our vision with this is we're not replacing anybody. What we're doing is helping people get more insight into what they're doing. And what's cool about AI is we can bring in more funds and bring in more prosperity, and we can do bigger teams. We can manage more humans, basically. That's what I think is cool. And we can make humans more efficient. And so we can just get more done. So in the past, where you'd only get one activity done around one project, now in our teams, we're getting 12 times the speed of what we're doing at the moment. So what is that allowing us to do? Well, it allows us to go above and beyond just like the bare minimum of managing humans. What it allows us to do is also to upskill them, gives us the prosperity to upskill them and help them get a handle on these tools. Right. So I just think what we are going to get, I'm very interested in just empowering more people with these AIs so that they can actually take an entire industry vertical and start going above and beyond what the bare minimum is in that vertical. So I just see we're going to get very smart humans having very symbiotic relationships with AIs and being able to have a vision or have a dream and actually being able to pull it off, and it not just being a bare minimum about actually making money and actually making an impact, which is probably far more important at the end of the day.
So I can see your vision is to empower people, not replacing people with the AI, but empower them to use smart AIs, right? Real impact. Right.
And the learning's unlimited. Like, sure, at some point, maybe you're just using an AI to do things a bit more efficiently. But then, what our mission is that, well, hang on, learn what's under the hood. What is that AI doing? There's an unlimited amount of learning there for people. Computer science is a big topic. Yes. You can learn about the CPUs, or you can learn about conductors even deeper. Yeah, and I don't know all that. I've got a small understanding, but nothing compared to what a real engineer would have in that industry. And so, but for me, my life journey is to learn that tech and to learn what's amazing around that tech. So I think it's gone are the days of just being a dumb employee. What we want now is conscious employees who want to wield power and do it in a way that they see fits the world. So this is almost a way of having a voice in the world and having a voice in your business.
I like your way described as conscious or conscious workers. They no longer be employed by commands, right? They are aware what's going on, and then they go out to search tools best to suit a business purpose, isn't it?
That's exactly right. And that's the misconception around just this employee mindset in general, that you're a human in society and you have a responsibility not just to show up to your job, but also to use your job to improve the world around you. And if you're not doing that, then it's a pretty dead-end job then.
Yes, you're going to feel really boring. And I calculate the hours you spend in your work, and I hate it so much.
Full on. But, like at the end of the day, the humans need to verify what's going on. And so, we're not going to replace the humans. At some point, the human needs to verify what happened, and someone needs to be responsible. And this fake idea that, we're just going to pass everything to a machine, that's probably what the big corporates would want, or the big governments. But that's what's really cool about AI is before we had AI, we'd have Google and Microsoft's suite out there.
right.
and for businesses. And now,
We have only two choices.
you only have two choices. And now AI is empowering people with my level of skills, so senior developer, to actually replicate all of that. And so the cool thing is we've convinced an entire hospital to move off Microsoft and move into our own custom tools. And what the dramatic change is that we don't need to be spending thousands and thousands of dollars a month with these bigger companies. So what we are seeing is more prosperity for the smaller players to actually get large shares of the market.
Wow.
And so that is why the software as a service market is dropping, because these big corporates who have always charged a large subscription for that infrastructure is not valuable anymore. And it's not even tailored to a small business. So it's very exciting that
I can really comment on that. HubSpot, I hate that so much. Maybe they could probably pitch it into our video. So HubSpot is charging you enormous amount of money when you have good number of employees increased. And that's so expensive, you really can't keep up. Because like our service provide a lot of time, and our expenses are including headcounts, right? We are paying a lot of money to softwares which you normally don't use that much. They give you all the features you don't need. They convince you to. Once you have that, they become monopoly, and you don't have control of your data.
Nope.
You are not able to migrate out your data, so you are forced
just to
stay with them. So it took me really, really long time struggle and then arguing with them and then moving to something that's like open source software, because I think it's bad in a way, the dominant, and it means somebody like us, small medium business, really, really can't go growth, because the more your employees you have, the bigger system you need, and then the more subscription you need to pay.
Pretty much. I like to think of them as big dumb machines. Like, if a small business needs a software change, on HubSpot's just a CRM at the end of the day, a customer relationship management system. And that's been done a million times. So an AI can bang that out basically. So, but then what's cool is that in the past, these big dumb organizations, if you wanted to do a change with the software, you basically got no say. Like, you can put up a little forum or something and maybe get a little bit active, but nothing is going to happen. So you're stuck with that inefficiency and having to use that big dumb piece of software and work around it. So the cool thing now is that in this day and age, we can intricately change the software overnight and make it work for an individual business instead of an individual business catering to the big business all the time. So the tables have turned.
Wow.
And this is giving a lot of prosperity for us to start a whole plethora of new businesses in every industry vertical. And there is just a process, and we just follow that internally. And that's really our company process, our secret sauce here in Brisbane and down in Sydney and Melbourne, Australia. And it's quite a fun time. So
amazing. I can see that. So
I
you
feel
are
like
really
I'm 17 again.
Really energetic. Okay. So I like the idea of being empowering people. So now I travel to Shanghai and China, and I'm hearing messages one people company where people has used AI to provide service to companies, to individuals. Do you think this is actually going to be the future aspect of companies?
Using AI to provide services? I think it's going to be, well, that's what's exciting. Like, in the past, you would need an organization of 20 or 30 or 50 people to run a large or medium-sized enterprise. And if you're getting into something really big, 150 employees or whatever. But now, all the knowledge work stuff of 150 employees could be done by 2 or 3, which is in a crazy way in a sense. But that's just the knowledge work. Knowledge works when you're running a real organization like a hospital or anything like that. That knowledge work is one part. So I do think eventually over the next 10 years, knowledge work will just be done always. But humans will always be verifying everything and clicking if they don't agree with things. So,
Yeah. Thank you very much for sharing that. So what's your project you're currently working on, and that you want to be seen and to be known in the industry, that you want everybody to pay attention to your current projects?
Well, there's a lot of current projects going on, and that's the cool thing. We can track all of this. But I think probably one of the most exciting things is we're really experimenting with these very much larger models, and maybe the general population out there think that we're just going to move along with using these large models like ChatGPT or those, but at the end of the day, we can't even be putting that, hospitals can't be just putting everyone's data into that.
Indeed, that's
So
a privacy issue, confidential information.
So I think the most exciting project is privacy first AIs, where we just run the AI models ourselves internally.
Okay.
Yeah, and helping other businesses do that. And then that puts them on a level with Google and Microsoft. Now they're building their own IP. They're building their own patent pending technology, if you wanted to call it like that. When a company or a small organisation puts their foot in the ground and decides to not put all their data into Google and Microsoft and empowering them, and starts to create their own federation, their own camp, the tables have turned already at that point. So that's how the world is going to slowly decentralize. So, what we're seeing, and because of the open source world of AI, when people thought that there wouldn't be good humans out there that would go and open source some of these models, but they have. That's the cool thing. Because of competition, DeepSeeker has gone and released their model. And those good. Models are impressive. And they're just as good as these corporate private ones. And they're free because there's people out there who care about humanity and want to empower others out there. And that's the lovely thing about some of these technology engineers out there. Despite all the money that they could make from it all, they still decide to put it out there so that smaller people like us can go and use these huge models and build our own intelligence, basically. And so that's a real change, that if we can build these intelligent organizations, we can start changing the shape of institutions. So this is world-changing technology, institution-changing technology.
Is this happening in Brisbane?
100%. This is happening everywhere. This is happening around the world.
That's a misconception about Brisbane now. We're a small city, and then we don't have very advanced technology. Can you explain to me about the environment in Brisbane?
It's very interesting that. So perception-wise, Sydney is always the financial capital.
That's right.
And Melbourne. But really, where Brisbane has always been punching above their weight is in the cryptography and the technology space. And I went and did applied cryptography in my PhD at QUT here. Right. And that's where I met other cryptographers, and we have a lot of talent here in Brisbane. And honestly, after COVID, all the people from Melbourne and Sydney moved up to Brisbane because it's just a better city. So it literally is. Yeah.
And then we have a really nice community. You can see that.
Yeah, it's good. Got the bridge right there. Got a beautiful view.
We're actually near the Brisbane River. The office is actually near Brisbane River. Wow, that's really important to have this kind of message sharing to the world, saying we are growing and we have very good technology people here working and then trying and then wanting to change the world, isn't it?
100%. And there's less corruption here. People just want to do the right
thing.
They
just want to do the work.
Yeah, they just literally, we're excited because we've got the Olympics coming here to Brisbane in 2030. Yes. So there's a lot of buzz happening here.
Yeah.
Property prices have gone through the roof here in Brisbane, which means a lot more prosperity has come here. There's a lot more money that's poured into Brisbane already. Huge amounts compared to the other cities. So
yes, more investment. And we want to actually give signals to investors that this really great opportunities for them to really come and visit Brisbane, isn't it? Not just in the area of infrastructure, that's good, huge industry, but technologies. We want them to come over here to have a look
100%.
What we are building here.
And have a look at the beaches. We have the best beaches in Brisbane, all up and down the coast. So,
Yes, have a look at my experience lifestyle. So
we're also closer to Asia. So
right, and then we only have 2 hours time difference. And then I think it took me about 8.5 hours from Shanghai to Brisbane, direct flight. So it's actually much easier nowadays. Just take a trip and overnight you'll be here, right? And then that's different country and a different culture, different kind of beers they can enjoy it. So for investors, sometimes they are concerned about, I don't know the environment, a financial environment. I don't know. I just concerned. I want to invest because I know what's going on. I can sense it. I want to capture that next movement. What kind of things you think they need to do due diligence? What type of things? So they are aware, because they might be talking to wrong person or give them a wrong information message. So some of them really cautious about investing in Queensland, in Brisbane. What kind of message you want to share with this type of investors?
Well, investing in this day and age it's a hard decision to make about, the world is in flux. Everything's changing. Even our financial currency systems are a bit rocky these days.
Yes.
So it's hard to make long-term decisions around things. Right. So I do really understand that, and especially coming from the crypto industry, understand this investment question quite deeply. And I really, someone asked me this last night at a concert, and because I've given people a lot of investment advice over the years, and
right.
there's hundreds of people that have come back and said, I'm a millionaire now, thanks very much. So there's a lot of people out there that have made a lot of money from my advice. But I do tell them, and this is what I told this lady last night, is that it has to go back to first principles now. Because, so think about the primitives, and that's why the global market is moving more towards minerals, elements and things like that. So obviously gold's a big deal, and silver. So these things are important. I think property markets are highly manipulated. So, maybe investing in property is not a good idea, because if you want to think about the force that's coming here with AI, there is going to be a lot of layoffs, and the people that don't upskill or learn how to upskill, and we're in the business of upskilling people here at this organization, they won't be able to service their loans. So I do think around the world we're going to see a lot of people, a good 30% of the population not being able to service their loans. So the loan market will crash over the next 3 to 5 years, I see. And that's only because I'm seeing in organizations they're choosing not to do new hires each year now. And so that's a bit scary, but come to us, we'll help repurpose you. And we've got a lot of AI work that needs to be done that we need humans to verify and look at. So there's a lot of work out there, and I don't see software going away. I think we're just going to build more stable software around our lives. So back to the investment question, I think it is about really questioning what is the things that's going to enable individuals in this day and age and this change, that individuals will adopt and invest in those things, basically. And sure, building giant supply chains and the investing in the commodities is going to be important, because they'll probably go up in value over the years as a stable investment. But it is investing in these AI savvy businesses who have these regular processes, who are improving impact. I think long term are going to be the most valuable things to invest in.
So
and we haven't seen that yet.
Investing in future.
It's not going away. We've got a bunch of tools to play with and explore and play around with.
It's so exciting to have so many AIs. Latest, I was trying to figure out if I can have a startup in the area of digital worker recruitment process. And I found that's a software called...
That's great. Yeah.
You can just give them a prompt, and it will generate in seconds. And I thought, oh my God, lots of recruitment companies will be gone for days, because they're still using the old way of sending CV to someone without verifying the person's character. So I've got some idea. And then I just took a thought about overnight, and I started talking, and I wrote my business plan. In the past, it's not possible. So aware that everything is controlled by these monopolies. For you to do anything, inventions or innovations, is not possible. Do you think nowadays young people or people who has mindset, so they are able to really build something out extraordinary, even in their garage?
100%. Yeah. That's literally how I started.
You started from a garage.
Pretty much, yeah. And that's what I come back. There's so many stones to turn over and discover what's possible with this technology at the moment. And at the end of the day, long-term stable investment comes with long-term stable plans and doing stable things to assets. So my PhD was all about managing large, expensive assets in large supply chains using blockchain. And so at the end of the day, the best investments will be managing those sacred supply chains that support our lifestyle, and tweaking them and making them better and giving more insight and increasing the democratic process in that, in different things that people want to change in very big supply chains. And then growing them like a flower and growing them like bigger trees, making them more valuable. And the only way we make them more valuable is having more people connected to it at the end of the day. And that's what these large blockchains will do as they slowly mature and grow out and help us manage these giant supply chains that have hundreds of businesses interacting and have these little AI co-pilots that also tweak and help us, and then humans come along and make sure that they're doing the right thing as well. So there's just a huge amount of opportunity to invest in different AI savvy businesses along lots of different supply chains in mining, energy, technology space, like, the business management space, so the infrastructure, which is really what we're at. So I think that sort of summarizes the opportunities there and the investment advice.
Thank you very much. So before I met you, I didn't know people have misconception about the Australian style where they don't work.
Well,
So probably they don't work as hard as Chinese people. So
I agree
what's your
with
view?
that. I agree with that. I think,
How many hours do you actually work?
Well, I've lived in China and lived in a shoe factory over
right.
there, and I see how hard people work
Working
over there.
there.
But then I also have met other Chinese people who are very wealthy and they don't work as
right.
hard.
Think about that
but they've
way.
done their hard. Yeah, so there's just different cultures at different levels, and I think part of us all becoming conscious human beings in this giant global movement is us recognizing the value and the effort that each human puts in, and getting paid fairly, which doesn't happen in this day and age. So I think that AI will help us see those pockets of misunderstanding and recognize and support humans that are having a harder life. So.
Yeah, I think my idea of this digital worker recruitment system is going to be really good, because allowing them to work for overseas firms and stay at home, they can still get paid, because they probably find very hard nowadays to get a job in China. They reach certain age because they have this kind of age discrimination norm where you probably find very hard to find a job if you've been redundant once.
Well, that's a huge hit on the psyche as well.
Psychic, that's part. It's just really, because you really have a lot of people will have mental problem of that, because they're just so afraid to walk, to step out of the house.
I would go as far as saying that the current condition out there is causing the mental problems.
Right.
You know, like people are in this fear state, and we're here to give a good message that there is a lot of prosperity to be had for everybody.
Yes, indeed.
It's just about seeing the opportunities, and that's what we help out here at Vanguard IQ.
Yeah, thank you very much. And then what's your brand name again?
Vanguard
IQ.
Yeah.
So if you have any message you want me to pass to Tom, don't forget to subscribe our channel and leave a message here. And then we have contact form. They can submit their CVs or whatever questions they have. And thank you very much for sharing this invaluable information to us.
No worries, and feel free to reach out, and we have a module of different projects that we're working on, and as people want to learn about a different project in one of the businesses,
they can come visit your
100%.
office if they are here in Brisbane. So if you have any interest in Vanguard IQ's project, you can come and arrange visit to Tom's office, right?
You can sit right here, and we can look out the view right here.
And I probably have a pint of beer.
Have a beer right
downstairs.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. We appreciate your time, Tom.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.